Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. It is Friday, which means it's time for Chibi Friday. I am working on Chibi Kiki right now. You can see the reference image that I'm working from. And here's where we got last week. The basic ink lines are done, and I did one round of erasing, but there's still some areas that I want to go over again. Maybe I can show you where the basic erasing wasn't quite good enough. So that's the first thing I'll do today is clean up some more and then add some more detailed ink work before moving on to markers. So today I got out my basic sketching kit because it has this, my kneaded eraser, which I really like for doing this kind of erasing because it's more gentle on the paper and on the ink. Some erasers, yeah, they erase good, but they take a lot of the ink away as well. Not saying this doesn't take the ink too, but it's just, again, this is a little gentler. Plus, you can mold it into this whatever shape you want, so you can have a big flat edge, or you can squeeze it to get a little tiny point, and then when it gets really full of stuff, you just sort of pull it apart and push it together like putty, and it sort of refreshes itself. And you can use them for so long, even if it's like full of charcoal or whatever. It's still it'll still erase really well for, I mean, you've got to really, it'll take a beating. So yeah, I like having these. I have two, and I keep graphite and charcoal separate because charcoal really, and the more full of stuff it gets, the firmer it gets, and it's harder to mold it and stretch it to refresh it and all that stuff. So I like to keep them separate because then that way they'll, at least the one that's only for graphite will last longer. I don't really use my charcoal one anymore now that I graduated school too, because I'm not a big fan of messy materials or messiness in general, which anybody who's watched my videos for a while will notice that I can't help. I've got slight, it's not an issue like other mental health aspects, but I do have OCD tendencies, and I'm working on it. I'm working on my perfectionism. It's a part of perfectionism in my case. But I just like things to look clean and nice. And I think that does help in some aspects. That's what is nice to work on perfectionism, but because perfectionism is when it goes too far. But oh, Exie, hello, and what? Thank you for pointing that out. What the heck? What? I wonder how that happened. Well, OBS was struggling. I had to close it and open it again because it was being weird. Hold on. I don't know for anybody watching the recording if I read Exie's messages. Exie says, your title is crazy, and my title is crazy. I'll read it because it won't be in the recording. Unhandled exception. See a bunch of zeros, 5, date, time. It's got the date and time. Fault address and big letters, numbers, string, program files, OBS, studio, bin, 64-bit, blah, blah, blah. Well, you can tell it's an OBS error. Exie, it saved me from having this the whole time. Where did my title go? I'm so glad I always just have my titles in a little notepad entry thing. Use the Google Keep. So that for stuff like this, I can just, so get rid of that, and then I can just copy. I do it because I'm then able to copy paste it when I upload it into YouTube, but it's handy here too. What the heck, OBS? Okay. I hope I remember when I'm done streaming. Okay, done. Hopefully it updates. Exie OBS trying to set itself free. Yeah, what the heck? That's so funny. That is a very funny way to put it. Thank goodness, yes, I see. I see as well. It's updated. It is the title that I wanted now. Not some weird thing. Oh. And here I was all happy because I was like, yeah, I remembered to check whether my microphone was working today. I didn't notice that something weird happened to the title. I don't know what the heck, how it even got that way, because I did the same thing as I ever do. But it must have been whatever was going on, because I had to close OBS because it wasn't loading the whole program. It only loaded certain sections of it. And then it was closed, and then I opened it, and I guess I opened it too soon because some background processes were still open because it was like, OBS is already open. And I'm like, okay, don't open. And then I waited. And I tried to open it again, and then it looked fine, but then that happened, so. Hopefully it's able to hang in there for my whole stream. You can do it, OBS, and then I'll check for you some updates. Maybe you need some updates. Well, yeah, I don't know if anybody heard me slurping just now. I'm having another delicious Fanta Zero Sugar Orange. Ah, so delicious. But now my hand's a little wet for the can is has lots of condensation on it. Okay, I think it's safe now. It's so hot outside, it just feels like an orange soda day. Orange soda feels like summer. Orange soda feels good for summer. I don't know why. I think it's because I drank a lot of orange soda when I was in junior high and high school because I watched a bootleg DVDs of One Piece. So they came from China, and then they just had really terrible English subtitles. And Sanji's name was translated to Sunkissed, like the orange soda brand. And so I'd always want to drink Sunkissed and watch One Piece because Sanji is my favorite character. So now, and because it would be summer vacation, so I'd have lots of free time because I wasn't in school for summer vacation. So yeah, that's how I think why. Also because the oranges are just sunny and fun, even though I think they're technically an autumn or a winter fruit. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but I feel like they are. I've never lived in a place where oranges grow naturally, so I don't know. I don't really know, but I feel like they're a winter fruit. Okay. I think I've gotten everything that I'm gonna be able to get with this eraser. And it looks really good too. I just like to get as much graphite as possible because once I put marker down, it seals the graphite in there, so if I notice it later, I won't be able to get rid of it. Okay, put this back in. I like this Faber-Castell one in particular, these kneaded erasers, because they come with a case, so you can protect them from getting like little dust and pet hairs and whatever in them. And then if you ever need a refill, you can like buy one without the case, and then so you can reuse the case and not be making more plastic to throw away. But okay, done with that. Putting this one away. Oh, I didn't get to ask. Exie, how are you? It's the weekend. You have a great weekend ahead of you, or at least a nice relaxing weekend. Well, maybe you work on the weekend and it's not. I used to have to do that, and I am so glad I don't. I'm so glad that I've got the weekends for me to relax or do some extra, some side project thing that's not part of my everyday, not part of my workday stuff, or, you know, stuff like that. Okay, got my pen rack. Now, I'm trying to position it so that everybody can see what I'm working with. Okay, there, that's good. Now, first thing, my favorite thing, we'll use the size 8. These are the Sakura Pigma Micron pens. I'm going to use the 08 to do the big dark outline around the whole figure, kind of like a sticker. Oh, nope. Nope, no fun plans. Or no relaxing plans. Or no work. I hope it's no work for you. Unless you want work. I wouldn't want work, but that's because I got work on the weekdays. Oh, it's such a... Right now, this feels like such a relief because I was just working on my cow's onomatopoeia illustration and I was refining the lines, and I do the lines with physical media first, and then I scan it in, and then I clean them up and refine them, so like trying to make the lines on the top thinner than the lines on the bottom, and lines that are closer to the viewer thicker than lines that are farther from the viewer, and all that stuff. And so it's like I'm doing the same thing right now, but it's a lot less pressure because it's just a chibi, and there's so much I can't control with physical media versus digital media, so it's just like, oh, it's so nice to be inking without as much pressure. And of course it's my own choice if I put pressure on myself while I'm inking, but this is the 7th onomatopoeia illustration that I've done so far. And so I have a really set system for making them, and I really like the outcome, so that's why the pressure is on, because I'm just doing the same thing that I have been doing the whole time for this project. Oh, yes! I hope so too! I mean, I don't know very much about your government, but that sounds good to me. Exie says, we have president elections this weekend. It'll be hopeful and stressful, but we'll finally get rid of our corrupted government. Yes! I love that! I hope that happens for you. And I know that feeling too. I won't get too deep into any of that, but I know that feeling. I got goosebumps thinking about it just now. On the back of my arm. Nope, too relaxing weekend, yes. But it sounds like it's a good thing. Even if it's stressful, sometimes some stressful things are good things. And you've got to go through them to make things even better than they were. Like, that's how I've been feeling. It's not such a big thing as an election, but I've been taking my dogs to their follow-up training, basically, and we're just going once a week, but this was the second time we went, and it wasn't as bad as last week, but it was still pretty stressful. But it's so important, because if we humans don't learn and don't train with the puppies, then the puppies will just forget what they learned in the boarding school, and then what's the point? And then everybody's time was wasted. So yeah, it's one of those stressful things that you just gotta go through. And then if it's for a good outcome, it's worth it. Oh, Satuita is here too. Hello! Made it, Satuita says. Next time I'm riding my bike. You're gonna ride your bike over here? That's what you're saying? Why? Because the weather is nice? Satuita was just over here helping me with my yard, like every Friday, to give some context to the comments. I always say this, but I like having a nice yard. I hate doing yard work. So I have a... Satuita is my Samwise Gamgee. Yay. Okay. I don't know about inking these whiskers. I think when I scan this in, I might thin them out. I'll thin them back to what they were using digital media. But I did it already on that one, so I couldn't go back, so I did it on all of them. I'm going to also do this line under the chin to help the head look like it is way bigger than the body, which is supposed to be for Chibi. There, good. And I guess I'll do this side. Oh, but for the side, I will go to the 05 instead of the 08. If the weather is nice, yeah. I'd avoid all the traffic. Oh, yeah. Oh, I hate traffic. And the greenbelt is much nicer than the streets. Yeah, that would be good. Then you'll be getting a crazy workout. So not only doing all the gardening, riding the bike back and forth. Man, I wanted to go on a run today, but I mismanaged my time. So like, well, I would rather make progress on my blog and make progress on my illustration and on my Japanese study. This year I actually did not make an explicit exercise related goal. For my health goal this year, I made a sleep related goal. And it's not like I'm not getting any exercise at all, because I take the dogs on a walk almost every night and I do yoga almost every morning, so I think it's okay if I miss some of my high intensity workouts. It's not going to be the end of the world. Okay, so I've got this outline. That pause right there, I was just looking and seeing what I want to do next. So I got the outline done and a little bit thicker lines on this part of the head where it's actually sticking out from the side of the face. So say most of the face is like this, but the muzzle is sticking out like this. So I'm just going to look around on my drawing and find any other areas where, so like I did this line because this part of the head is sticking out in front of that ear. So just keep looking for little spots like that to add a little bit extra ink. And also, to help make this outside like border line not be too stark, I don't want it to look like it's separate from the rest of the ink work. So I'll help bring it in a little bit so that it's not just this stark contrast between the rest of the drawing. And a little bit in between the feet and up here, showing that the legs are in front of the rest of the body. And trying a lot to taper the line so that it's thin on one end and thicker on the other end, so that that's how it will look like it's meshing with everything else, because it's sort of disappearing and coming back and all that kind of stuff. So this says it looks kind of like a bobblehead. Yeah, I thought that when I was looking at this since last week. I don't think I have done a pose like this at all for a Chibi cat, whether it be Kiki or anybody. Okay, I'm gonna do a little extra ink on the nose there as well. I think I might be satisfied with the ink now. Or maybe a little bit right here, where the fluff from the leg is sort of overhanging some of the back toes right there. And here, So the tail is not coming out from this leg, it's wrapping around from the back and coming around like that. And here I'm adding to show that the tongue is going under into the shadows of the depth of the mouth. Now let me take a look as well at my reference image. Okay, so Louise is going to be right back. Okay, see you when you get back. Well, not see you, but everybody knows what I mean, I think. I'm looking at my reference image to make sure there's nothing else that I'm forgetting about. So, okay, I'm going to add a little bit to her eye. In fact, I'll go down to the size 3. Because there is, you can see that inside corner of the eye a little bit, the pink versus the really dark of the rest of like the eyeball itself. So I'm just going to do a little line to indicate that. And then that'll help me when I'm coloring. Yeah. Anything else? Any other details like that? Let me zoom in. I wonder if I want to... Nah, I'll use marker. I was considering whether to use ink. Well, like pigment ink. Because I guess marker ink is ink. Anyway, using these to do the black parts around her mouth, and then like the nostrils super black. Because it's just in shadow, like it's a hole going into the head. But I think I'll leave that all to the markers. So I think I'll get the same effect either way, and then if I don't put a big patch of black ink, then that's less chance that that patch of black ink will be smudged if I use a marker over the top of it. Okay, so I think I'm done with these. Move them out of the way. Next is some Copic markers. Yay! I don't know if I'll be able to... need my swatch book. I don't know if I'll be able to finish today, but since Kiki is mostly white fur, it might not take too long. But then again, we are over 20 minutes into the streaming window, so we'll see. Wow! I dropped my clip, but I caught it. I had to put it nice and centered. Okay, so markers are like watercolor, and it's best to start with the lightest colors first, because you can always go darker, but you can't take it away once you've gone dark. So take a sip of my delicious orange soda. And the lightest color is definitely her fur. So we will color the biggest area first. Definitely not cool gray. I want at least a... yeah, so either toner gray or warm gray, I think. I'm looking at the reference and looking back. So I'm looking back and forth between my... oh, I just realized my screen could be closer. My secondary monitor here, which is over this way. So I've got my reference image there, and I'm looking back and forth. But I think that warm gray is a little too warm, especially when I'm looking at the stripes on her tail. So I'll go with toner gray. And should I start with 2 or start with 1? There are some really bright spots on this side of her. But then the rest is pretty dark. Okay, I'm squinting my eyes so that I can see more of the value versus the color. It really helps if you do that, then you can just see the it's almost like it turns into a silhouette or something. It's all pretty dark. There's these really bright areas and then a secondary bright area on this side, but then the rest, it's because the light is coming from behind her. I'm just trying to decide if I want to start with T1 or T2. I think I'll go with T2, and what I usually do is get every other marker, starting with whichever one I decide to start with. So T2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Range of markers. Try to move them so that everybody can see what I'm working with. That's good. Okay, toner gray. We'll start with the lightest one, of course. And it's like her whole body is at least this T2, so I'm going to use the wider chisel end to cover a lot of area faster. So I'll just start at the top of her head and go down and just do my best to protect areas that need to be really white with highlights. And I'll even go into the areas that are that dark tabby. She has spots on her with tabby pattern. And I'll do that too because you can see some of the gray through, or some of the lighter fur through the darker fur in those patches. There's not even any big highlights hitting this side of her face or her chin. It's like the other side of her face is blocking it. But here there's some. And here, some shadow too. Okay, now I need to protect a little slice on this side. Here and here. Woo! It's so small. I hope I don't lose it, but worst case scenario, I'll color it with colored pencils to lighten it back up. Okay, and then the same thing is going to happen on this side, but even greater. I've got to retain even more. And you can really see it's like almost a jagged pattern on her fur. Or it's sticking out of her chest, like quills on a hedgehog or something. So I'm doing little strokey lines to try to imitate that using the marker. And that needs to be protected too. And then her tail is black with gray stripes, so I'm just going to color it all the way in. Her tootsies, they need to be colored in. Wow, nice. It instantly gives it. Just with one color. Gives it shape. Now she's got this cute pattern on her ears, especially on this one. So I'm going to try to indicate that. You can even see on her ears that some of the pattern is on the front part, and some you can just see shining through the back part because her ear is translucent. Okay, first layer done. Yay! I realized I need to look up. Hold on for a second. I drew this ear bigger than it is in the reference photo, just so that if, you know, when someone is looking at this with no reference photo, they won't be like, what? Where's the other ear? Because even though that's realistic and that's what's in the picture, I think the expectation for a chibi is that you would be able to see both ears, because unless she doesn't have two ears, you know, but she does. Oh good, and I just took these pictures of her yesterday. So I'm just trying to check what color her ear is. Okay, so her other ear is actually almost all the same black that's on the top of her head, that tabby black. It doesn't have this like cute pink stuff. Okay, so I'll go back out of photos. Welcome back, Satoita. Satoita's scrub brush felt so good on me. Sweaty back. Oh, thank you. Oh, nice shadow base. Satoita says, yay, thank you. It's so nice to work from a reference image. It's like a more complicated paint by numbers. Okay, so I've got that basic layer done. I'm going to take another drink of my delicious orange soda. Ooh, I gotta admit, I'm feeling a little antsy because it's Friday. Like, I can't wait for the weekend just to relax. Not because there's anything special going on. Although today is movie night, so I'm really looking forward to. We are on the third of the MCU Spider-Man movies, and it's my favorite one. And to me, I call it Doctor Strange 1.5. And since I was very disappointed in the second Doctor Strange movie, like this one is a replacement for me. So I just enjoy this one and just try to ignore the one that I'm disappointed in. So, the Doctor Strange that I came to love is still in this Spider-Man movie. Plus, I mean, the whole movie is so cool, and what they did, and I'm not going to say anything else that wasn't in a trailer, but yeah, I'm excited to see this movie. Plus, last week when we were watching the second movie, we had the Xbox playing the Blu-ray, and it would not play it after this certain point. So we just had to like buy a digital copy because it was just started skipping and stuff and would not play it, and we just bought a Blu-ray player. A standalone 4K Blu-ray player. So that's going to be exciting to watch the movie tonight on the new Blu-ray player, and there should be no skipping and no weird like little squarey pixels showing up like it was. Ooh, smoothie time for Satuita. Yummy. Yeah, use orange juice. They will all be orange, because Exie loves oranges, and I'm drinking an orange soda, and you can have an orange smoothie. It's an orange party! Ooh! Satoiza says, I need to see it then, because I like Doctor Strange. Well, the parts with the magic and mind stuff, anyway. See, that's what I'm talking about. Again, I won't do any spoilers, but I felt they went away from that stuff in the second movie, and so I was disappointed. There were other reasons, but anyway, I really recommend, if you have the time and patience, to watch all the Spider-Man movies, starting from the Tobey Maguire ones, the 3 Tobey Maguire ones, the 2, oh, I'm sorry, guy, I don't remember the person who did there's 2 in the middle, and then the new Tom Holland ones. You will be rewarded. I will just say that. You will be rewarded if you do that. You will be rewarded. Even if you don't like the other Spider-Man movies as much, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. I'm getting really excited. I'm so excited for the weekend. I'm so excited for movie night. I really do love Doctor Strange. Love that first movie. I could watch that first movie a million times. I mean, I have watched it so many times, that first Doctor Strange movie. I guess I felt a little bit, I don't know what the word is. Vindicated seems a little too strong, but I felt better when it was like the reviews for the second Doctor Strange movie also weren't that great, and I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. Feels good not to be alone. And I tried to be really open to whatever a movie wants to do, but it just went too far for me, personally. I just couldn't enjoy it. So disappointed. It was like it was a different Doctor Strange. But maybe they will change it up. Maybe they'll get some feedback and do something different. I guess he's going to be in the next Avengers type thingy. They're definitely working towards another big grand thing. Yeah, Doctor Strange is my favorite of the MCU. Well, if you haven't seen it, yeah, Sato says maybe they were afraid it would alienate their target audience because it would be too far into metaphysics. I'm not sure if that was what happened. I think that what happened was they chose a certain director with a certain history of movies, and that fed into what the second Doctor Strange became. And then they definitely were drawing from the comics, so it's not like it was that the source material was not like that at times, but that wasn't what I had come to expect from the MCU Doctor Strange. I think that's the biggest thing that disappointed me. It was like out of left field. But I don't want to say any spoilers for anybody watching who hasn't seen it and wants to see it, so. And I'm sure plenty of people loved it, so I'm not saying that it was a bad movie, but it wasn't what I was expecting, and it's not the kind of movie that I like in general. But the Spider-Man movie is. I love this movie. I'm very excited because we did what I recommended to you. We watched all of the Spider-Man movies, and now here we are at this one. This is big culmination. Or culmination, that's not the right word. It's a big, what is it when you reach the conclusion? The climax? I don't know. It's a reward. So even, because some of the Spider-Man movies, some of the 5 Spider-Man movies before the MCU ones, I'm like, I don't know if that movie needed to be made. Okay, we're getting there. Since I'm making this ear up I'm just going to leave a little stripe of highlight on it, because that's what I'm seeing on other areas, like where I'm leaving light here and here and on this side. So do the same thing there too. I wonder if I should actually... Okay, I'm going to do the squinting my eyes thing again. Yeah, it's so subtle. This little area definitely is darker than the areas around it. And then the same thing for this area in the middle of her chest. But it's such a subtle transition. I'm not sure if I want to do it with marker or if I want to save it for colored pencil time and just use a colored pencil, because a colored pencil can give you a nice soft transition from light to dark and vice versa, or from color to color, and it can be the same light or dark. Yeah, maybe what I'll actually do is leave the markers for the gray stuff and get other light colors in here. So like the pink for her tongue, her ears, and her nose. And that's pretty much it. So let's do the pink and see what that looks like, and then start adding some more gray to everything else. Yeah, she's pretty much just pink and gray in this picture. She does have green eyes, but you can't really see them because they're in shadow. We've got so many movies lined up too. After MCU Spidey, let's see, we were gonna watch Ant-Man because that's finally coming out on, or it came out on, no, came out on Blu-ray. And we have the Blu-ray or something. Anyway, we're watching Ant-Man next. Ant-Man 3. And then I have been thinking about it for a while, so I was like, I really want to rewatch all the Pirates of the Caribbean. So we're gonna do rewatch the Pirates of the Caribbean. And then, so we've got like movies for months scheduled out now, because someone reminded me that I hadn't seen Jurassic World 3 yet. And then I was like, oh, let's just watch all the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies all in order. So that's like months of movies, because we watch a movie every Friday. I'm excited for, I love movie night. I love our movie night. Maybe this RV11 would be a nice color. Or RV21 is a bit too vibrant, I think. But maybe 32. See, this one is still a bit gray. Nah, I'll go with it. RV11 is the base pink color I'll use, and it's actually just called pink. Do the smallest thing first. Well, now I am. Now that I got the biggest thing laid, the base color for the biggest thing. I always go lightest color first. So sometimes that means doing the smallest thing first, and then sometimes, like with this Kiki, it means doing the biggest thing first. Alright, her nosy, her little corner of her eye. And her tonguey. Any other part of her mouth pink? Yes, this side of her lip is pink. Okay, I gotta zoom in on her head on my reference picture. There. Okay. Then her ear. Oh, it's looking more and more like her because of the pink with the gray on her ear. Yeah, this part is this black part of her lips. Although, interestingly, it almost seems like it's got a little pink tint to it, but it could be because her mouth is actually a little bit blurry. But no, like this part of her mouth definitely has some pink. Just do a little edge of pink. Okay, now I'm taking a look. Yeah, everything else is gonna be really dark, so I want to save it because I don't want any accidental smudging of the dark inks. So I've done that before. Yeah, I think I will save those areas on her head and on her it's like her chest where it becomes her front legs. There's these patches of darker, but I don't want that hard transition that markers make. So that'll be good. Let's go to the T6. So the third darkest gray marker that I'm using. Start adding into these areas that are like distinctly darker than anything else around them. So first is fur around her ears. Let's see, we've got 13 minutes left, so I'm going to be mindful of the clock. And she's got this little dark patch going up the side of her ear with another little spot up at the top. I'll probably come back in later with more of this T4 marker once I get some more of the darker areas added in. Because it's easier to see areas that need more work once you've done some other work on them. Oh yeah, and this whole thing is dark because it's the back of her head where the tabby patch is. You can see it going all the way down to her shoulders in the reference picture. And she actually has this little dark patch on the back of her front hand and in between her toes, but you can't really tell on the Chibi. The Chibi's not big enough, but I can do a little bit to show that dark patch on the back of her hand. I keep leaving my PC speakers on. Fanta orange. Satuita says, I use OJ, oat milk, dash of maple syrup, flax seeds, antioxidant blend of berries. Like mixed berries, but with pomegranate and cherry as well. Sounds delicious. Oat milk is so yummy. It is so creamy and delicious. Oat milk is like my indulgent milk. Alright, the spot between her cheeks are pretty dark, and she has like an outline around her nose. Like, her nose is a coral pink, but at the bottom and the top there's like a dark outline, so I'm gonna add some marker to reflect that. And I'll finally color in this nostril. I'm gonna color in these dark areas of her lips. She's getting more and more, becoming more and more fleshed out, but her eyes, which I'm saving for last, looks like she's about to shoot a laser or something. She's a robot or she's possessed or something. Oh, I'll hold her up real quick. I just had a thought that I've done so much work and I have not shown a close-up since the beginning. So here's a little close-up look at the progress so far. Yeah. Not bad. She's coming along. She's coming along. Ghost kitty. Looks amazing. Looking good. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. She's actually more difficult to draw than I would imagine, because she has such little patches of tabby stuff going on. It's kind of tough, so your kind words are very appreciated. I also think it's tough because I did not do my yoga today or yesterday, and so my back is like it's really bugging me today. So thank you for helping me power through. Let's get these little patches on the ears, and it's so cool. I'm gonna hold it up again. The marker is able to do exactly what I'm seeing. Oh goodness, Aoife's having a dream. Well, she's eating now in her dream. If you heard a whine sound, that was Aoife's having some sort of... Oh! Yeah, her mouth is going... Meow, 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 meow. Anyway, the markers are doing what I hoped, what I'm seeing on the... there she goes again. The ear, how it's translucent and the light is showing through, and then there's these dark patches that are on the front of the ear as far as viewers concerned. But then there's also dark patches showing through because the light is shining through and making it visible. And that's working here with the markers with that light gray combined with the pink plus a dark gray on top. And it's just marker, but it has the effect of looking like light is shining through something translucent. This patch and this patch right here are still quite dark compared to the rest. So I'm going to keep adding to them. And here as well, need a little bit more work, I think. Ooh, it sounds dreamy. Ooh, we all have lots of plants now. Well, I don't have lots of plants. I have lots of plants outside. Subtweeter says, house plants have been misted. The apartment feels nice and cool now. Yeah, with all that the rest of the water just floating around. It's probably so nice. I misted my little seedlings before I came down here. I still haven't transplanted them yet. I want to do it soon because they're really going to run out of room. The instructions don't say when to do that. They give you so many seeds of these teeny tiny little pots, but I think that at least that first thing of dandelions, of sunflowers, that the one that bloomed first, I think they're probably strong enough to be transplanted now. And in fact, if I don't transplant them, they might start struggling against each other. And I've got this like huge pot that they can go in, so there's plenty of room. I just need to put them in it. They don't need to fight with one another for survival. Oh yeah, Flatjoy just says those little plants are neat. I bet they meant the pots to be used more than once. Yeah, those little clay pots that they came with are, I mean, they're exactly the same as any large... Okay, hold on, I gotta zoom in on Kiki's face to see the details of the black parts on her mouth. But yeah, they're just like any other terracotta plant pot. Just teeny tiny little 2-inch wide opening. They do make a nice gift. I got them for my birthday. And they're so easy, even for me. And I don't have that much confidence with plants. And it said guaranteed to sprout, and it did. They didn't lie. The guarantee proved true. I gotta move my reference image again. I'm looking for the darkest spots. No. Because I'm on T10. As far as the grays go, it doesn't get any darker than the 10. I'm zooming out again. Now I'm going to go back to the lightest markers and add more. Maybe the T4. Guess right here I'll add a little bit. Scrolling down. Just keep adding the details. Keep building it up. You don't have to do... It's not like once you use a color, you can't use that color anymore. You can keep building it and come back to it and add some more. Scrolling down. Okay. I'm gonna call this good because we're at time. And I got started exactly on time today, so I shall end exactly on time. Hooray! So, next week we will return to more marker work, though really close to done. So here's a little close-up look at what we got. We got the lines finished up with the ink and then added several layers of marker. But still plenty to do, especially the pink is just a flat color right now, and then the eyes haven't been done at all. So there we are for today, Chibi Friday. Yay! Lots of progress. Yes. Oh, you're welcome. Exie says, thank you for the stream. See you next time. Yes, see you next time. Yeah, so I will be back on Monday for Inktober 52. As usual, there should be no need to reschedule at all unless some emergency happens. Fingers crossed that that doesn't happen. And so that's it for today. Thank you for watching.